So, just as I thought, it comes down to that. The beginning of the next episode.
Billy,
Yeah?
did you recycle the exact same gag that we used to end the last episode with?
I figured it would be like a good duality on the commentary of the nature of mankind and the cyclical nature of life and how all ends become a new beginning. And, what?
This is me giving you, the viewers, a look, but you can't see because we don't have face cam. No! We're the Bittersweet Gamers!
I'm Weak Square!
I'm the Opinionator! Throughout this entire trial, we've been on top of everything, and...
Much like Mikan, okay.
have been curiously jovial. Isn't that strange?
That's kind of how this game has been.
Well, I really think, speaking for myself at least, that I had such a cathartic moment before the trial that I just, washed out every sort of negative emotion.
Well, I mean, there you go.
That's strange, though. It just feels so wrong to be all happy during a trial.
There might be a degree of denial to that, because we still have to get to the actual killer.
Make of all that what you will.
The mystery surrounding this incident is contained in that video.
Let's get to it. The next big thing, and kind of, other than it actually identifying the killer, although we've taken care of that, kind of the last big thing that the evidence talks about that we haven't discussed at all.
And whether or not we can reach that hidden truth is all up to me, because I'm the main character.
Good job remembering that!
I'll leave it in your hands.
Yeah, I'm the main character.
As long as I leave this to you, I won't tell you to do your best, but oh well. You should get started already.
Boy, that fills me with such happiness and pride and confidence that you believe in me that much, I think.
Don't you think this is a little strange?
No, this is... What are you talking about?
Both two characters in a row have been like, well, Hajime, it's up to you. Oh. And then I remembered because he's the only one who saw the video. Never mind, I was trying to attribute some sort of meta thing showing that this is all some
Billy wants to accuse Chiaki.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I'll definitely try.
Yeah, I'll definitely try.
If there was some hidden clue in that video, I should have seen something strange as I watched it. The light cutting out at the end. I'm the only one who can clear that up.
Let's talk about the location of equipment.
I'm the only one who actually saw that video.
So
everyone has to believe whatever I say!
Let's talk about the capabilities of the equipment that was used.
So I'm the only one who could do it. The hanging video that I saw, based on everything we know from the debates thus far, I should be able to figure out what's strange. Oh.
I see. Well, I mean, we can point at the lack of blood. That would be the biggest one, wouldn't it?
Yeah!
Here!
Woo! I was concerned it might have been something else.
There are other things, but those weren't in that video.
I remember
That's
now.
true.
There was definitely something strange about that video.
Can you explain it to us?
What's strange is that stepladder I mentioned earlier. It's true that the steps of that stepladder weren't dirty, but on one side...
There was blood.
There was a bloodstain, right on the left side of the stepladder.
Which is the one facing the camera.
Mm-hmm.
However, that contradicts the video I saw at the hospital. There weren't any bloodstains on the stepladder in the video. It was completely clean.
Because that would have been one of the first things you'd notice.
Mm-hmm.
That is truly strange.
Shut up!
That is truly, truly strange.
If the video showed the moment of Ibuki's death, then Hiyoko should have already been dead by that point.
Even so, the fact is the stepladder had blood on it at the actual crime
The
scene.
reason the stepladder has blood on it is it dripped from Ibuki's shoes.
Yeah!
But the stepladder in the video was completely bloodless.
And there's no way the video was recorded in advance. If that's the case, The only thing I can think of is...
You know, I know that that's one of Mikan's normal poses, that nervous fidgety thing, but it seems like in the context of this trial, it's just more appropriate.
Yeah.
It's possible those two stepladders were completely different.
Oh,
Which means the location was in two different places. Well, there'd be no other reason to swap out the stepladder.
Wait, are you saying there were two stepladders?
are you that shocked by the possibility of more than one stepladder for you, Hiko?
No, it's like I was saying, like, why would there need to be two stepladders?
Ah, okay.
There has to be a reason, and a great convenient reason is it was filmed in a different place.
But where would you find another stepladder? There was only one stepladder in the music venue.
Then one of the stepladders was somewhere other than the music venue.
Bing, 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 bing!
What do you mean?
You're suggesting that the stepladder in the video isn't the only thing that's different. Am I right? That's amazing, Chiaki. All that gaming has given you incredible deduction skills. Is it okay to say that?
Please, praise us more.
I don't want to be praised by Nagito.
Me either.
What are you two talking about?
See? Isn't that suspicious?
Stepladder isn't the only thing that's different, huh? Chiaki said that the stepladder was at a different place, but if that's the case, the thing that's different between the video and the actual scene of the crime? Is that thing the place where the killer did something different? Oh, good.
Whoo! Shoot it! Shoot it! Okay, now we have a place to start. Yeah, let's shoot this.
But
Yeah,
why
this
not?
one. Shoot it. No, okay. This one then.
Filming location?
Okay, that's it. L-O-C-A-T. Yeah, filming location. Got it. By the way, you should use focus for a second.
Haha, you're right.
Just focus and then we'll just get it sealed up.
I don't want to run out.
You're not gonna run out! I mean, you got it filled now. Yes, sirree! I don't really know what to say about these.
Whee! Whew.
There's our L. And there, oh. Yeah, you get out of here, L. Nice last minute save there. A, you're looking for A.
I know, but there's a lot of stuff going on. And now T. Low KI. This sort of thing is my specialty.
Well, quit announcing that and hurry up and get to it.
Now and end.
There's our in. Good snap.
Got it!
That's right. Besides the stepladder, the filming location must have been different too.
What do you mean?
I mean, the video I saw was not filmed at the music venue. It was filmed somewhere else.
Dun dun dun!
I mean, didn't we get that almost immediately?
Of course we did. The instant it cut out, we knew there was something fishy going on.
The hospital monitor is supposed to display footage captured by the music venue camera, you know?
Well, it's not like to try to hide it. You know, one of the ways that games like Ace Attorney and this work is they give you a lot of evidence related to the end of the case first, and then they give you stuff related to the beginning of the case last.
And then you have to connect it all together.
But what that means is that you, the player, are already trying to figure out the meaning of this end of case evidence early on, and
that gives you the context in order to piece it all together.
But I'm just saying that in terms of this, they gave us this information about the light and everything, right. Immediately. So we were thinking about it immediately.
Then there's a possibility that the killer also tampered with the surveillance camera unit.
But if I want to feel good about being right, I've given enough caveats for that, haven't I? So, yeah, we were right. Okay, I feel better. Praise me more, or at all.
In order to show us that they filmed the video at the music venue instead of somewhere else.
Praise me, please.
Okay, Damon, you did good.
Please, I need more. More affirmation.
Due to that surveillance camera.
Okay, I'll stop. Sorry.
Oh, good.
Interesting, we still had the loss of life from the last logic dive. Oh. Or maybe it was just our overall life. Okay, what's the question?
It hasn't showed up yet.
What are we talking about?
Talking about something...
Who are you?
I'm we squared.
Well, that was reflexive.
So
was that!
Button. I keep wanting to hit X, but...
You've got to jump earlier. Try jumping now. That's how you know it works.
It's the Y button. Okay.
And it takes you more than... It's not instantaneous. You understand, Billy?
I was hitting the wrong button entirely.
Which part of the surveillance camera unit did the killer tamper with?
The camera. Because the monitor was at the venue.
Yeah, I guess that's the way to put it.
Woo! Oh, God!
And you were just like, whoo, yeah, thank goodness I got it in time. And a pretty interesting bottomless void coming up there. Ooh, I died.
Oh, no, how did that happen?
Impossible!
Nandato!
I
mean, what is there to say during this point? Other than we.
No, I said we. There's a difference. Did the killer tamper with the camera at the music venue or the hospital?
The hospital! Oh no, they tampered with the one at the music venue. And they put it in the hospital.
Yep.
I knew that. Shut up.
They're also going, think about the hospital!
Oh, this is tripping with my eyes.
This is fun. We're really getting the Star Foxy stuff now. Kind of makes me want to go play it. Not that much, though.
Do a barrel roll.
What did the killer do with the camera from the music venue's surveillance camera?
They took it with them. They can't increase the signal.
I like how if you hadn't come to that on your own, they did just tell you what it was. That's sort of interesting, but...
I mean, this is probably the least interesting minigame.
I think it's kind of fun.
Well, I mean, fun, yeah, but like as far as...
It's all coming together.
It just seems like this is the least effort on you mentally.
That's it.
Well, because you have to answer the question.
From the music venue. With it, they made me think it was a live feed from the venue, when it was actually from somewhere else.
And that's why the camera wasn't there initially.
Yeah.
Then only the monitor was left in the music venue?
Now, if we didn't notice that the camera was not there...
That's true.
Then we wouldn't have felt so strongly about it. But there's other evidence, too. Mainly the curtain. The curtain and the existence of the second floor rooms on the hospital should make you think there's something funny going on.
And of course, when we went into the conference room, the curtain was still pulled and everything was pitch black.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, at least when I first discovered Ibuki's body. But when Hyogo's body appeared, the killer probably put the camera back too.
That means you should have realized that from the start and made this easier on all of us.
All right, two things. Number one, we did. That ain't our fault. And number two, the only person who could have moved the camera is someone who knew someone had gotten it.
Yeah.
That's why it was constructed the way it was.
He did discover the body. I doubt his attention was focused on the camera.
They had to be in the hospital the entire time.
Or it wouldn't work.
Well, that's true, but... In order to hide that the camera was missing, the killer did one more thing to the remaining monitor.
Smashed it! Because if we just saw a bunch of broken pieces, that's why it was smashed. We would just think that the camera was naturally included in it.
But we happened to notice that it wasn't.
The thing the killer did to the remaining monitor was...
I see! The killer smashed the monitor to pieces, destroying it.
We would have worried about, like, we would have easily noticed there was something there that wasn't there before, but when it's debris, it's just more debris.
And, like, you don't pay attention to it as much.
We weren't even sure when we saw it the first time, and kind of were... That's why we didn't talk about it. And we were even able to notice it because of editing videos that we are uploading that you are watching. So we kind of had a lucky coincidence followed by the only circumstance in which it would be obvious.
Yeah.
But we still saw it, so there.
As long as it was in pieces, you wouldn't be able to tell if the camera was actually there or not. My attention was so focused on the body that even I couldn't have noticed something like that.
Even I, huh?
And the moment Hajime left the music venue, the killer put back the camera they took.
And they destroyed it and left that in pieces as well.
It's easy to say it was filmed somewhere else, but the surveillance camera's connection wasn't that strong.
That's why...
correct, Kazuichi.
That's why there's only a limited number of places that it could have been filmed.
Despite Kazuichi's desperate repair efforts, it seems it could not transmit from the hospital to the motel.
I'd like to see you do a better job, Gundam!
The fact that it was able to connect between the hospital and the music venue is amazing enough.
Which means, even if it was filmed in another place, as long as it was transmitting to the hospital, the range would be pretty limited. Like, in the hospital!
I'm pretty sure that the hospital would reach the hospital.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm not an expert in this sort of thing. If that's the case, where was the video filmed to make it look like it was filmed at the music venue? Chiaki? Could you chime in here?
I don't know what you're talking about. Actually, I probably do.
The only possibility is...
I was making sort of inappropriate jokes there myself. Inappropriate in a couple of different meanings, if you catch my drift. Probably.
That place inside that build... What? This is the Hangmaniest Gambit!
The Hangmaniest Gambit!
Conference room.
Yeah. And see, even the existence of that R there is to make you think of room.
Yeah!
Boy, this would be pretty lethal if we didn't know what it was. Remember in the last case when there was one that was like,
Right?
I actually don't remember what it was.
Conference room.
No, not this, you moron! It really wants to say conference room, though, doesn't it? Pow! Combo! Not con for once room. Not con for roo.
Oh, there's no reason to hold on to that right now.
We're gonna need it in a second. We would have had both of our O's if you would have. There was a reason. I don't know what you were doing. I suspect you don't either.
That's fine. I just focused for 2 seconds and it's good. Oh, that's about to blow up.
Man, combo failed. Jeez, Billy. If you wouldn't have grabbed the wrong one, we'd already be done by now.
How's about you sit and spin?
I can't do that with the way that what I'm sitting on is set up.
It's a good thing we have a big vocabulary, isn't it?
Yeah, if we weren't people So brilliant that we know the word conference. Man, how insane is that? Conference, gosh. You gotta be at least in 86th grade in order to have a vocabulary including the word conference. Or are you talking about room?
Don't mock me.
Huh?
Too late.
Conference room?
But the hospital and the music venue look completely different.
That's exactly why the killer did something to make those two places resemble each other.
The curtain from Super Punch, Rocket Punch Super Mart.
You said Super Punch, but you actually said Zooper Punch.
Ah, the Super Punch.
Rocket Punch is better than Zooper Punch.
To make the conference room look like the music venue, the killer went ahead and did some work. I've got to make clear what that work was.
Black curtain. Music venue curtain.
It's got to be that.
How could it not be?
There's no way the conference room and the music venue look the same.
Oh yeah, tell us more.
Which place resembled the other? Did the conference room look like the music venue?
I mean, that's correct.
Isn't it this one?
Yeah.
Or did the music venue look like the conference room?
The music
Actually,
venue
it's
looks like the
this.
conference
It's this.
room.
Or did they make some kind of set?
I mean, that's also technically true.
Might have tampered with the camera.
I still can't believe he mixed up the filming locations.
What?
Hajime, you're pretty stupid.
Pretty stupid, got it. We know what it is.
Did the conference room look like the music venue? Or did the
Here we
music
go.
venue look like the
Bam!
Must be it.
We had this from the beginning.
What the killer did was make the music venue, the crime scene, look like the conference room. They did that by using the black curtain hanging at the back of the stage.
From what I remember, there used to be a really flashy curtain. But after the incident, it somehow became a plain black curtain that didn't seem to be the right size.
So there had to have been a reason, I suppose. I mean, we know what the reason is.
Yeah, right.
What I'm saying is, although this actually was a pretty elaborate plan, if you take the idea that everything had to have happened for a specific reason and then start searching for possible reasons, even if they're the wrong one.
Uh-huh. Are you trying to find the reason?
I'm saying that this case made too much sense.
Okay.
It wasn't sloppy enough. It was too precise, which enabled us to easily put it together. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There was an answer to every problem.
There were two people involved with it after all. We assume. There could be no reason for them to bring up the idea of an accomplice if there was not, in fact, an accomplice. So, if that accomplice is a despair-diseased Nagito?
Or not.
Do you think he had something to do with making it so we could get it?
No.
No? Okay, I'm just...
Okay, I think that in order... If Nagito is helping the Ultimates, first off, how dare he help an Ultimate? Second, they're not having to struggle hard enough because he's helping them. He wants them to struggle. If he helps them, then he's not getting what he wants out of it. By setting it up as difficult as possible and doing everything he can to make them believe that, that's how he's achieving what he wants.
And if Nagito was acting like his normal self, that would make sense. But he was acting as Nega Nagito, the opposite. Making something that was easy to see through goes counter to what he believes in. It would make it easy for everyone to find it.
Let me get this straight. You, Billy. You, Billy, are saying the following. A, we are operating under the assumption that Nagito was the accomplice. We believe this to be true, but it may prove that it isn't.
Yeah, I'll accept that. I'll accept that if it's not.
So, you, Billy, are alleging. You gotta get it more legalese here.
Yeah.
Because he had the despair disease that put him out of his right mind, he cooperated with a killer, but because he's has the despair disease, he can't cooperate with the killer the way that Nagito would want to cooperate with the killer. So he cooperates with the killer by making it more obvious instead of less obvious, so that he can help the other ultimates by making it more obvious instead of help the ultimates by making it less obvious.
Yes, you have grasped the crux of my theory.
What in God's name is wrong with you?
That's right. It's so half-assed, just like Monami.
Oh, yeah? Well, your face looks stupid.
As someone who frequently resorts to a your face joke, I think that was well said. Also, I'll have you know, Monokuma, that Billy's allegation was extremely full-assed. There wasn't anything half-assed at all. If anything, it was a double-decker ass. We're talking like 4 ass cheeks.
You can't say I do anything by half measures.
No, you can't!
That curtain was hung so the music venue would look like the conference room?
Your face is a half measure.
In actuality, even though the curtain in the conference room doesn't stand out,
It has a specific use.
it is a black light-blocking curtain that's long enough to reach the floor.
I see. The conference room. Indeed, the floor of that room is the same color as the music venue stage.
Oh, I didn't even think to consider that.
Yeah, same here.
So the killer chose the conference room because they realized the floor match.
Matching floors, matching curtains. I guess it makes sense you'd mistake the two.
It's not mistaking the two, it's done intentionally.
But that's not all. There should be something else the killer did to tamper with the evidence. Probably.
Not give it the
Definitely.
candle. Something else the killer did to make the music venue look like the conference room. It's gotta be the freaking candle.
That, and by making it the light source, it draws obvious attention
To the candle in the
itself.
music venue, right? In the video I saw, a candle was used for lighting. But if you think about it, that's pretty strange.
Okay, in the first Danganronpa, in the third case, we also smashed through it.
Well, it didn't help that Celeste was acting super suspicious.
Well, it didn't help that Mikan is acting super suspicious, but no, you're
I
right.
don't think
More
she's acting
so.
as suspicious as Celeste did.
You're right. Celeste was acting mega ultra doom suspicious, and it was elaborate. We didn't have all the details, but whereas we had a lot of details here, but we didn't have any trouble. It was just matter of fact from beginning to end.
Like, we saw every inconsistency during the events leading up to the murder and was just like, this.
Well,
none
maybe
of this
not.
Makes, well,
maybe we
not
didn't.
every,
but when they came up in the trial, we did easily, and so we have that part that's the same. All right. However, when it came to the fourth, it was obscenely complicated because there were so many people involved, and we were like, we didn't have any idea and didn't even say that we had any idea. We're open about, I don't know what any of this is. Does that mean the next trial is going to be the same way?
Oh, God.
Like, by the way, I'm calling it now. Kazuichi is going to be the next victim. The reason is because out of the people that are left, he's the easiest to victimize.
I don't know how I should feel about that.
So maybe it won't be him.
The music venue has good lighting, so there's no reason to even use candlelight.
But wouldn't they have done it to make it feel creepier?
Are you-
that why?
Are you saying
you serious?
this was a coincidence? Are you saying this whole case was a coincidence? That just happened to be too perfectly put together?
That might have been another reason, but the main reason was probably to tamper
Okay,
with
no,
evidence.
that's it. It's like I was saying a second ago. Everything made so much sense that it made too much sense. There wasn't anything that was sloppy, so it was easy to connect the dots. At least for us at this particular time. So when Mikan has objected to every point that we've brought up, that means she even had a reason for everything. It just made everything make too much sense. And it's kind of like nobody noticed that the candle was to make it creepy. It's
Right.
like she forced dual meanings on stuff.
Oh!
Like, if she would have actually made some mistakes, we probably would have had a harder time with it, because we were expecting everything to... It's kind of easy to lead us into a particular direction, because we're like, well, A follows B and C...
Right.
And,
logical progression.
yeah, B follows A, C follows B, D follows C. So if you just put something to put that in our way, then we're gonna... First time, we're gonna follow it. But if you have something that doesn't follow easily from something else, that's more likely to make us misconstrue the meaning.
Like in the previous trial, like why implicate sparkling justice and like all that stuff. None of that didn't really seem to make sense at the time.
Yeah.
Like there were enough WTF moments that we were just kind of like,
yeah, that it made...
We have an idea, but...
It didn't so easily make sense.
But it's almost like the killer like dropped a map with like a confession taped to the back.
Well, and that's by taking care of everything. Even if that's not the case, it's really fascinating.
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
The lighting in the conference room and the music venue are so different. They couldn't be used during filming. That's why the killer used a candle as film lighting instead.
Which means... Are you saying the candle in the music venue wasn't actually used?
There's no wax around the bottom.
That candle was likely placed there just to make me think it was the same candle that was used in the video.
Especially with all that heat!
Hey!
Even if it hadn't been lit, it would have melted!
Okay,
With candlelight, you can't see things in that much detail. Maybe they were going for that effect.
I hate to burst your bubble, but candles don't melt at 86 degrees Fahrenheit. You have to light them on fire.
Maybe you've been using the wrong candles, or I've been.
You have never used a candle in your life!
That's not true.
With that cheap-ass camera, it won't capture much in a dark area.
Is that so? Are you alleging that you have used a camera in your life? Why, Billy?
Candle. Camera?
I'm sorry, you're right. Candle, are you saying that you have used a candle at some point in your life?
Yeah!
Evidence is everything in a court of law. Can you provide anything other than a mere allegation that you have used candles?
We live in Tornado Alley. Because tornadoes.
But do you have proof?
No, I don't have proof!
He doesn't have any proof. It can't be true.
As long as this all matches up, it should be no problem to say this is decided. The video I saw wasn't filmed at the music venue. It was actually filmed at the hospital conference room.
If I'd found proof that evidence in the conference room was altered, we would have reached an answer sooner.
But instead, I was joking around a whole lot instead of paying attention to things like I normally do. It was kind of fun, and I remember getting Kazuichi real good, but, I guess it kind of messed up this time. Sorry.
But it appears the killer already covered that up, so I didn't find anything when I went there.
That's a good excuse, huh?
But there's no mistake. That's the only place within the connection range of the surveillance camera.
The motel would have been too far, and the interior design of the movie theater is too distinctive.
But this must be a surprising turn of events for Hajime.
Why do you say that?
You never suspected that the video you saw in the hospital was being filmed in the conference room.
Maybe I didn't, but the two voices in my head did.
Blast.
The incident isn't happening at the scene of a crime. It's occurring in the conference room.
I feel like I've heard Bayside Cops say that before.
What?
But isn't it the other way around?
If Ibuki's hanging video was filmed at the hospital's conference room, then was Ibuki killed at the conference room too?
I have no idea. Presumably not, because you can't easily drag a body around. It's not like we have a gurney or
Well, there was a gurney at the hospital, actually, in the lobby. But I think that would be really risky.
Yeah, there's no reason to have done it that way.
No, that's not possible. Right after Hajime saw that video, he discovered Ibuki's body at the music venue.
Fuyuhiko, we've already said that the murder did not happen during the time we thought it happened.
No, he's right on this.
That video was filmed at the conference room, but Ibuki's body was at the music venue. Which Which means there was a fake somewhere. That fake must have been...
Oh my god!
In the conference room.
Oh my god!
See,
dude, it was totally Hiyoko at the motel.
You're right.
The body isn't even Hiyoko.
With the candlestick.
It was the killer pretending to be Ibuki.
Not quite.
The killer put on a hospital gown, wore a hemp bag on their head, and was only pretending to be the victim.
Well, you know, I guess it could be that, and it might not have to be an accomplice at all since we've placed where she is at the time. But it just really seems like...
I don't know, I feel like my theory had made some sense.
No, it just really seems like, and this just comes down to Damon's favorite topic. Don't talk about it all that often, but when I do, I talk about it. And that is...
Boobs!
That is not a feminine frame. It's not very curvy. Mikan is like...
Very curvy.
Well, I mean, more middling among the people available...
Well, it depends on the CG you're looking at.
Well, as it turns out, the game brought plenty of attention to Ibuki's fine arts, Mikan's, Chiaki's, Akane's, somebody's fine arts, several times before the crime took place.
That's correct.
I was already thinking that. The game put it into my head. That's why I was thinking about it.
It's okay, Damon.
By that time, the real Ibuki must have already been killed.
The actual time of death must have been earlier. Probably around midnight or dawn to avoid witnesses.
And she had access to Ibuki and knew how she acted, so she could just march her there whenever she wanted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because she could have killed her at the hospital and then carted her off at midnight.
I'm just saying, you come with me right now.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm gonna just walk her there whenever she felt like it. Walk her over to the venue and just have her do everything that she needed to do.
If they took Ibuki from the music venue to the hospital to kill her, there's no way it happened during the day.
So that's what happened. Then no matter how quickly I ran, it was impossible for me to rescue Ibuki. At that moment, I was already in the killer's trap. And the one who set a trap for me was...
But why did the killer go to the trouble of making a fake video just so Hajime could go to the crime scene?
To get Hajime to go to the crime scene. That's the only answer to a question like this.
Right!
The reason the killer made a fake video. There's only one possibility I can think of. And if I examine that possibility thoroughly, then naturally the killer's identity will reveal itself.
Huh?
You fiend! Are you saying you already know who the killer is?
Well, guys, that's how this thing works. I mean, come on, why are you so surprised?
Figured it out every other time.
That's right. I should already know. I should have already known.
Certainly didn't want this to be the case,
Who the killer is.
You're the only one! Mikan, you're the killer, aren't you?
What are you talking about?
Like I said, aren't you the killer who murdered Ibuki and Hiyoko?
Killer? Huh? I'm the killer? What is this?
Oh god, the panic talk action is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, I guess it will, yeah.
Hey, don't you think that's kinda impossible?
Why?
A chick like her as the killer? She couldn't even kill a fly. In fact, the fly would probably kill her first.
Well, A, despair disease, where she certainly could have easily killed you.
Mm-hmm.
And B, I really like Mikan.
I do too.
Honestly, she is one of my favorite characters, and that's probably just because of how much fun she's been for me. But we did, what, like 3, maybe even 4 of her free time events? She's nuts.
Dude, I called stalker from the frickin' get-go.
You did, and then you did that because she was stalking Hajime. She's nuts. It's like you could look at it as a joke, like Gundam, or Akane for that matter.
But like we were talking about last episode, the humorous traits that they have, then you juxtapose it and there you go.
It's just the things that she talked about was extreme self-denial and a willingness to do anything to achieve the goal that she has decided on, which is not being hated. She operates under the assumption that everyone hates her and was willing to sacrifice her body to make people not hate her. So she already probably wasn't in her right mind, i.e. the motive, the despair disease. But on top of that, she's already completely unstable.
She's right. A clumsy slowpoke like me killing someone? That's completely out of the question.
You know, when she said in the beginning of the trial, like, that's pretty crazy for a slowpoke like me, at first I was willing to write it off. We had already laid out why it could be Mikan at that point. And you were like, there it is. And I was like, well, Mikan does talk like this, though. She always has. She's talked about doubting Hajime.
But we're the only ones. Thanks to that video, we're the only ones who have the advantage of an alibi.
An alibi? Was that the killer's goal?
It wasn't... Okay, she needed an alibi that someone everyone trusted could corroborate, like Hajime. So that's why she went through the big show and dance.
I think it was just because she had the opportunity to do it with Hajime.
Okay.
Because she knew about being able to go through the broken lock.
Okay,
and she knew the position he was in. He was the only person who could give her that alibi.
Yeah, you're right.
Because she could control him to that degree.
Now that you mention it, you guys brought that up earlier. Only Hajime and Mikan have an alibi.
And I've already proven that it wasn't me.
It's just a coincidence.
Well, now this is the case, okay? But you understand you can turn all this logic around. All of this logic also applies to Hajime. We just have the advantage of playing as Hajime, so we know it isn't true.
That's true. But we didn't see the movie, so we couldn't have tried to...
That was an accident. Didn't we go through a big song and dance to prove how much of an accident that was? Isn't that creating an alibi?
You're right! Oh.
That's what, I mean, that could be how they come after us, is defending the exact same, like, you could have done this, you were here and could have done this, how do we know you're telling the truth about this?
But you're the only one who could have filmed that video in the hospital conference room.
Well, I mean...
Is that also a coincidence?
I mean, it's true.
Shouldn't you get some rest already? You should be exhausted from nursing without any sleep, right?
Then, if you insist, I'll use the on-call room upstairs. You must be mentally exhausted, so it's better if you relax in the lobby instead.
At that time, you said you were going to the on-call room, but you actually went to the conference room.
And she knew Hajime would be in the lobby because she recommended he rest there.
That's when you put on a hospital gown that you prepared in advance, put the bag on your head, and began filming.
Man, what a missed opportunity for Nagito. All I mean is, had Nagito actually been the accomplice here, then we would have to sit for the remainder of the time that he's around, which is presumably the whole game.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Just like with Fuyuhiko, knowing that he had been a killer's accomplice, but he's not the Blackened, so he's still here.
That would have been really interesting.
I mean, that was a large reason why we were so die-hard on it.
By doing that, you made up a video that showed Ibuki trying to hang herself at the music video. And showed that to me.
Guess she taped down the fine arts.
Yeah, here it comes.
Is she gonna break totally? Like, is she gonna turn into another person?
Quite possibly.
We don't know. She's not right in the head. Somebody else could come out there. I don't mean another personality, but like a suppressed actual self.
Furthermore, I saw that video at the hospital lobby. If someone wants to go to the conference room from outside, they have to pass through the lobby.
So if it wasn't Mikan, it has to be one of the other patients.
So it's impossible that someone who wasn't already in the hospital went to the conference room to film.
That was actually kind of where we started with all of this, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was that it had to have been somebody there because only they had the information and the opportunity, and then made everything make sense into that.
Yeah.
Not only that, the others in the hospital, Akane and I, We're both delirious from the despair disease.
Then again, I mean, that's sort of like a deductive versus inductive reasoning and like where you start. Hooray! Did you understand that? I didn't.
So that must mean...
Please, wait a second.
Yeah? What do you got?
What are you saying? I'm the killer.
Mikan, you killed 2 people. You didn't kill 1. It was 2. What do you want from us?
That's impossible. There's no way I could kill someone.
It was tragic. It was an accident. Once.
Yeah.
But it becomes less accidental, less sympathetic when you do it again.
Especially when you're killing to hide something, to cover up.
It's not literally impossible. Can't you give a better defense than that?
Rather, it can only be you or Hajime.
Yeah!
And we know it isn't Hajime, therefore it's you!
It just shows she can't even do that.
Hey, you sure this chick is really the killer?
She set everything up so well, too. Like, what's about to pop out?
Wrong! It's totally wrong! It's not what you think!
I'm even totally willing to believe that, like, you're the accomplice or something. I'm willing to believe you weren't in your right mind because of the despair disease.
That doesn't
you
change anything, ultimately.
I mean, if it was the despair disease, you could have said something about it. Or maybe you didn't remember. Maybe it happened because of the despair disease and she didn't remember it.
Maybe.
And was starting to piece together that it was her as she did it, like, oh, it couldn't be me, right? I'm too slow to do this. Oh, all this makes sense. Like I said, the whole idea was the motive is the despair disease, and it would be profound for somebody overreacting to something while they're not in their right mind and doing something that they can't take back.
Especially when she's been working herself so hard that she might not recognize her own symptoms.
And she denies herself to the degree of offering up her body with all the implications that means if it will make you happy to not hate her.
Just like Akane said, it is really hard to tie it all together. I mean, Mikan is the killer?
Some other Mikan, then, and that is indeed very tragic.
I agree. It is truly difficult to believe someone could be killed by such a slow-witted woman.
Yeah, Damon.
What are you talking about?
When you saying Akane was the killer.
Oh, well, look, Mikan has demonstrated over and over and over that she's actually really quick on the uptake.
That's true.
But
that slow-witted remark is
yeah,
not necessary.
It isn't.
She's the one who keeps noticing all the stuff y'all keep ignoring.
It's fine. I've been like this for a long time. In a tournament for social punching bags, I'd easily win first place with my soft reputation.
Yeah.
Even I can't deny that. How many times do I have to tell you? It's impossible for me to kill someone. I'm serious. Very serious.
Well, what if you weren't you?
What do you say, Hajime?
Do you still believe this woman is the killer?
I know I've said it 88 times, but need I remind you? When she came to lay on Hajime the second time on the day of...
Her temperature was really high.
The temperature was very hot. Very hot. The same language used to describe people suffering from the despair disease, which is the motive.
Do you hate me that much, Hajime?
The way she's talking sounds really suspicious. Like
maybe or maybe not.
Hey, Hajime!
Maybe or maybe not. Is another Mikan in there? Was she in her right mind? Does she have her memory? It could go either way.
Everyone's ganging up on me.
Like,
tricks aside, logic aside, is she really capable of doing something like this?
And then in the end, she's even ready to pull this and actually get some people to agree with her on it? It could go either way with her being conscious of it or not. you can't call her a fool.
Could it be I'm the one making a mistake?
Well, is it you then?
No. In fact, it'd be so much easier if I was wrong. If I have this much doubt about someone I've spent so much time with.
Can you hold on a minute?
Ah!
Oh, is he going to say, well, what about me? Or is he going to say, what about you?
What?
And need I also remind you that all these things apply to everyone that was there. Anyone could have done any of these things because they had the information and the opportunity, just not the same way as the playing in the room. But we'll see what he's saying. Like, you can make a really plausible case for it being him. You can't make a case that it was Akane, though, because of the filming.
Right. No, not enough tape in the world.
Well, I know I'm being intrusive and all, and I mean, I have no place to say this. I missed all of the critical parts, and I doubt I have anything worth saying at an important time like this.
BS he did. He knows exactly what he's saying.
What are you saying?
But still,
Saying?
There's definitely no way I can overlook the killer this time.
Because he's going to say, like, because I was right there. Don't you think I would have helped if somebody just would have asked me? Then it would have been perfect. How dare you not get my help?
Not just one ultimate, 2 ultimates dead. That must be such a waste to him. What?
I thought it was suspicious all along, from the very beginning. Investigating with the suspect in mind creates a different result than investigating with no leads.
Oh yeah?
Hey, what are you trying to say?
Well, thanks to that, I was able to discover a truth that nobody else knows.
Yeah?
What? Are you serious? I've been so focused on everybody else this trial, but I guess now's a good time to say it, right?
You better not have kept quiet on purpose. This isn't a game, you know.
Actually, this is a game.
Oh, yeah? There's a lot of ways you could take that.
Please don't say such controversial statements.
I think the correct answer to Monokuma is yes.
Right.
Well, what do you know, Nagito?
Well, it's nothing big, really. Only a small, decisive clue that points to the killer.
Dang! That's a huge deal!
A decisive clue? Does something like that really exist?
I really don't know quite where he's going, though.
We never do. His thought process is so alien.
Yeah,
Let's
you're right.
take a look, shall we? Regarding the rope Ibuki was dangling.
I guess we hadn't actually gotten to this because it doesn't matter. I don't mean this rope. We talked about the rope as evidence before. We never really worried about how Ibuki actually died, just that it wasn't suicide, because she would do anything that anyone would tell her to do. So she'll just sit and wait for them to do whatever. They just could have walked up and
That's true. That's
strangled
true.
her to death with their bare hands.
This rope was supplied by the supermarket, right? There weren't any ropes inside the music venue.
Again with the supermarket? That place is a hotspot for criminal goods.
Yes, it is!
It's the
Thank you for pointing it out!
It's the only place anybody can get anything, and it has everything. Therefore,
If they got it at the supermarket, that means it was brand new, right?
I guess?
huh?
What's wrong with that?
Yeah!
I want you to take a close look at this rope. And keep in mind that it's brand new.
Huh?
Near the middle of the rope, it's frayed, as if it was rubbed strongly.
Did somebody have a rope for some reason?
Well, that could have been the part that they strangled her with, and then made a noose afterwards.
It is not gonna fray like that. Ropes are actually made, to support weight. So if they frayed that easily, then it's not even being a rope. It's just like a...
But why is it like this? The loop Ibuki used to hang herself is on one end of the rope, and the part of the rope that hung from the baton lighting is on the other end.
Hey, you're taking too long. What's wrong with the rope being
I mean, was it a stage rope of some kind that was just there on the venue?
Well, he said there wasn't any ropes in the music venue.
But how do we know that?
It means, well, from what I can infer, I think the rope was used like this. The killer wrapped the rope around Ibuki's neck, pulled both ends at full strength, and strangled her.
Okay.
But
the center of the rope is frayed because that's the part they used to strangle Ibuki.
How crummy, what a crummy freaking rope!
Right? Unless they're saying her earrings are what frayed the rope.
But okay, that's fine. What does this change anything?
Yeah, that doesn't change anything.
Ibuki would do whatever anybody said, so whatever the weapon was, rope, bare hands, it doesn't matter. What does it change?
I've been listening to you for a while, and it sounds like you knew about this rope clue all along. What exactly did you say to me during the investigation?
Rope clue my butt. It's a clue. The weapon was a... So, this won't be much of a clue. Then I might as well search another place.
Not everyone cooperates at a class trial. Those who lie and conceal the truth will obviously be here too.
Why are you looking at me, guys?
Just like this case's killer. I was just copying them a little bit.
Huh?
More importantly, what was all that about the rope? The killer strangled Ibuki. And then?
And then, I finished speaking.
Huh?
Huh?
How is that a decisive clue?
Huh? You didn't notice it? I thought I made the decisive clue very clear.
Nagito's words contain a decisive clue?
Go back and look at that 1 second. I can't let...
Then he finished speaking. Is that really true?
Huh. I mean, presumably the rope...
Well, we don't know what they're talking about. It might be a remember.
Nah, you're probably right.
Ibuki didn't die from hanging.
We know that.
She was strangled to death.
Is that wrong?
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different.
Neck
The scars they
broken.
leave would look different too. Scars?
You mean the rope burn, right?
Yeah,
But
and...
we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Just like we pointed out at the beginning of, I think it was last episode,
According to Mikan, there is no doubt
that the cause of death was her hanging herself with this rope. You would only lie about that if you're lying about it. It's that Mikan has the knowledge, and
that she would be able to tell the difference.
And this was the decisive clue. This is what made us say, when we were reviewing everything before starting today's recording session, that was a decisive clue that made us say it has to be Mikan.
Yeah,
because
you're right.
she's directly lying about this. So isn't that what we're talking about now?
This is what we're talking about now.
Well, we did fall for someone's lie, the rope on
The
that.
body at the crime scene was hanged, you know. Obviously, we'd assume it was a hanging.
The Monokuma file complicates this too. It never specified hanging or strangulation.
Because the Monokuma file is meant...
Whoever misunderstood is to blame.
Okay.
And Mikan even said it. But the Monokuma file is meant to benefit the killer.
Did we fall for
There.
someone's lie?
Bam!
That must be it.
Hey! I just love that tongue sticking out there.
So that's what happened. We've been falling for the killer's lie this whole time.
We never believed this for an instant. It's like it wasn't even that relevant. There's something I want to ask you. There's no doubt Ibuki's cause of death was being hanged by this rope, right? Yes, she had no other external injuries, so there's no doubt she died from hanging herself. I see. So, Ibuki died by hanging herself.
You said Ibuki hanged herself, but that was a complete lie, wasn't it, Mikan?
That is... well...
I'm sorry I lied. Right?
Yeah.
You told us the wrong cause of death. You lied, didn't you?
You should have been able to tell the difference between hanging and strangling just by looking.
And same with the AC temperature. It's just there are too many clues that too specifically prevent things.
Yeah, there can be only... There's only one thing it can be.
She just set it up so precisely that it's made it that much more suspicious.
You, Mikan, the ultimate nurse.
Please wait! First of all, I'm not a coroner, so I don't have the medical knowledge to identify injuries like that.
I can believe that. But she was pretty precise on all the other deaths.
That's why it's not my fault if I made a mistake.
You are right. And you have been a great help to us so far.
I could believe that, but then is there some horrible, like, fine artsy mastermind behind all of this? I mean, that's... Maybe when I was saying it was too precise and too well thought out, maybe I was wrong. Maybe she really did go all the way through everything and come up with her excuses on everything. Like, there's so many things, there's so many points that would have to be challenged, and she has a ready answer for all of them. It's sort of like, it's like it makes her look so suspicious that she might actually come out the other side of suspicion. Like, no longer be suspicious.
That is so weird.
I'm not sure I buy it.
Right.
I still think despair disease, not in right mind, but...
But even a drunk medical student can notice the difference between a hanging and strangulation.
Well, I'm neither drunk nor a medical student, but we did question that immediately.
I'm not taking her side or anything, but being clumsy and unskilled in this area could lead to a mistake.
He's totally right. I'm such a clumsy mess, and I got so careless.
Mikan nursed me till I got better. There's no way I'm gonna doubt her.
Well, Mikan maybe isn't necessarily the person that needs to be doubted.
Right.
Don't you think her devotion to nursing is what helped her draw Ibuki to her death?
Huh?
And if not, her symptoms were still very serious and caused her to believe what anybody told her. It wouldn't surprise me if she willingly followed Mikan because she was nursing her.
Oh man,
Like-
to abuse that trust.
So Mikan volunteered to nurse us? Because she was planning to do this all along?
I don't think that's the case.
Right. It was, I'm pretty sure it was just an opportunity.
It was either opportunity or despair disease,
Or she was manipulated.
despair disease and opportunity, or really crazy stuff like she's the accomplice, manipulation.
Right.
That's a little... Aren't you like the thief who suspects everyone else of being thieves?
Well, that is how projection works, as a psychological phenomenon. So maybe cyborg floating head Nekomaru, who is actually Monokuma's operator, planned this all along by transmitting hypnotic waves through the monitor to transform Mikan into someone else.
What in God's name are you talking about?
I don't rightly know.
I think maybe we've come down with the despair disease.
Hey, we made that gag in the last episode.
I know.
I'm not a criminal. Mikan is. I mean, she's a killer, you know.
You've got it all wrong. Please forgive me.
This is so interesting. This is so different than than anything else that's happened in this series.
That's just the tagline for this game.
Yeah, I love it!
I'm sorry, but there's no way I can forgive you. I just can't forgive this crime at all.
Forgiveness or not, we still have not decided if Mikan is the killer.
Like I said, there is another person who could have done all of it.
I see. You guys are kind. Well, If that's the choice everyone makes, then the only thing I can do is back off, I guess.
And you know, Makoto would always argue to the bitter end. I'm not saying that Nagito is Makoto, but...
There's a lot of parallels here.
But is that really okay? Is that everyone's hope?
Then what are you saying? Get out and say it instead of creep everyone the F-meister out.
You're friggin' annoying! If you keep talking, I'm seriously gonna beat you up!
Akane, I really like you, and I'm also still going to accuse you of being the killer in the next trial, just so we're clear.
But I'm really not the killer.
Damn it! This trial is too freaking interesting! We're out of time, but forget it! We're just gonna do this trial until we're done this week. Kind of like the return of Dangan week or the way we did trials in the last game. Disclaimer, this is the time in which we decided to do this. However, by the time you see this video, you will already know. Creepy, huh?
Man, this ending segment's kind of dragging on, isn't it? Oh crap, I'm contributing to the problem.
Danganronpa. Danganronpa.